Joining me on this episode of Survivor Angels is DeEtte Renae, psychic medium and medical intuitive. We're talking all things psychic mediumship and angels. Coming up next.
It's time for Survivor Angels, an approach to strengthen trauma survivors. Here, you can escape what draws negativity and engage your positive abilities and the gifts that you've always had. Let's activate your angels. And to help you on that journey, here's Chaplain Jodi.
DeEtte, my soulful friend, how are you?
I am doing fantastic. How are you, Miss Jodi?
I am doing well and better now that I'm talking to you. This is going to be fun.
It is. It is. I love doing this with you.
I love doing this with you too. And so for those who are watching and listening, I want to start so that they know who you are.
Okay.
So you are a psychic medium. You are
am.
also a medical empath.
Yes.
So first of all, there's a difference between a psychic and a medium.
Mm-hmm.
Please explain for our listeners and viewers the difference.
Okay. Simply said, as a psychic is somebody that reads the energy of a person, and I'm able to see things about their life, whether it be their past, the present, or the future. Whereas a medium is speaking with their loved ones that have passed away. So essentially anybody that's dead. You can put in angels there, guides there, loved ones, the dogs, whatever.
Okay. And then what is a medical empath?
Well, I clarify myself as a medical intuitive, not an empath. And the reason for that is just that, there's not a whole lot of difference when you use a different terminology. There really isn't. It's just what I go by, and I don't know why. It's just me. But it's where I actually have taken one of my senses, which is my clairsentience, which is just French terminology for clear feeling, and I've heightened it up. I've practiced. So when I sit in front of somebody, I can actually feel what's going on in their body, in my body, and then be able to tell them, number one, like what I'm feeling. Say they have got a problem with their back and I'm feeling like, gosh, I can feel the pain. And then I literally in my own body sit there and you'll see me like move my body a little bit because I'm trying to figure out where it's at. And then I'll pinpoint and I'll be like, okay, it's this vertebrae. It shifted this way and you really need to get to the chiropractor or whatever it might be. I have felt things, say, like in my chest area, and I've looked at a woman and said, I don't know what this is. Just humor me, go to the doctor for me, because I feel something. I wouldn't be alarmed because I'm not a doctor. And they've come back a year later and said, thank you. I followed your advice. I went to the doctor, found out I had breast cancer. But essentially it's feeling what's going on with that person inside of me. And then just kind of giving that information back. Sometimes spirit will give me information, what they could or could not do, kind of suggestions. I always clarify that I'm not a doctor in any way, shape, or form. I'm not doing diagnostic. I'm just giving you whatever spirit is giving me. I'm going to give it to you, and please take that and take that to the doctor, basically.
Right. Now, as you and I both know, and I'm sure a lot of those who are joining us know also, there's basically four main clairs.
Yes.
And they say that two of them are kind of prevalent. So your clairsentient, what is your other one that's probably pushing out?
Okay. So in my world, we still use the word clairs. Everybody loves to use the word clairs. A lot of people don't know what they are. You'll hear people go, "Oh, I'm clairvoyant," and I'm going, "Oh, so you see things?" They're like, "No, I hear it all." I'm like, "Well, then you're not clairvoyant," So clairs are just literally French terms. Clair being clear, with the sense after it being whatever it is. So you've got clairaudient, which is clear hearing, and that's where you don't hear with the naked ear, you actually hear in the thought process. So it's using your thoughts. It's how your brain interprets hearing. Okay. You've got clairvoyant, which is clear seeing, and that's seeing images in your mind. You've got, and those are your two strong ones. Those are your two top ones. Underneath that, you have got clairsentience, which is obviously clear feeling, we already talked about, and then claircognizance, which is just clear knowing. And that's where people use it all the time, which is they just know things. They don't know why. That just pops in and they just know it for no reason. So those are the four main ones.
And my understanding is that we all have all four clairs. It's just some are stronger than the others, but we
Yeah.
can work on them and develop them all, correct?
Yes. Yes. Everybody is psychic. I mean, it's an awful term. I will tell you what. I hate the word psychic, although that's what I am. And it's because I think it comes from a long list of stereotypes and people thinking that there's going to be this big ball and some nails going and, all of this. And really, psychic is just having abilities that are extra senses. And we all have them. It's our God-given right to have these abilities. It's how we navigate life. There's not a person out there that cannot tell me that they just didn't feel this was right or they didn't know that was right, because that's what we're getting all the time. And if we follow the senses, life gets easy.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to throw a curveball at you. At least I think
Oh,
it's a curveball, but I know you can handle this.
okay.
You know I'm all about the angels, and you're on your angel journey right now
Yes.
too. I believe that being claircognizant is really it's the angels giving us the messages, because angels are talking to us all the time. And instead of saying, "Oh, well, I just knew that." It's like, I believe the angels gave you that message. What do
Mhm.
you say?
I would say angels are in there, but I wouldn't hold it just with angels. You
Okay,
know,
why?
only why? Because I got through my nursing with that messages, and I don't think the angels gave me all the messages to all the tests. I think they
Darn,
were
okay,
there.
for all
I
you
think they were
students.
helping. I think it's one way that they speak to us. I think but honestly, I think angels will use all of our senses, not just one of them. Because again, I hate to say it, some of us are kind of stubborn, you know.
Really?
you know and we're going to use one sense or another sense, and say your claircognizance, because number one, your claircognizance isn't a top sense. It's up there, but literally your
Mhm.
top two are seeing and hearing. Those are our top two senses. Okay. And then below that is where that knowing is at. So it's like, why would an angel go just straight to the what's below? To me, they're going to go, let's get to the person's. If they want me to know something, they're going to go to my strongest sense. They're going to go, I need her to know this. I need her to get this. This girl hears things, so I'm going to shove it in there so she can hear it. Because I will tell you what, if they just use my knowing, I'm going to struggle. I'm going to struggle, because I'm a smart ass on just what I know. You know what I mean? I was the kid that always put my hand up. I just knew the answer before the answer question was asked. And unless I had an angel with me that was just really had a great sense of humor and said, "Oh, let's just spank the teacher repeatedly," which is possible, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I know growing up, I mean, and I grew up in a very small town. There were just barely over 30 kids in my class growing up,
Oh,
but then I ended up graduating from a class of 300 plus. But
wow.
growing up, I know everybody would say, "Oh, you're such a know-it-all. You're such a know-it-all." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I know it." And I
Yeah,
I didn't understand fully then what that was all about. I
right,
totally agree with you that the angels come through your hearing and everything, all the other clairs
right.
too. I am so on board with you with that, and that's why we need to develop all of them, because the angels are constantly coming through all these different ways.
They do. Yeah, they
So
do.
where are you on your angel journey, my dear?
Oh my gosh. I've got a patient angel. Yeah, I've got a patient angel. Right now it's a beauty. Did you want me to tell the story like where they showed up all over? I mean, yeah, let's go there.
Yes.
So, because it's like one of those, I'm not the person all of a sudden seeing angels in front of me and blah blah blah. I couldn't get that lucky. I wish I could, but I didn't. But being a psychic medium, and I want to say an active one that uses these abilities all the time, it comes with extra sets of guides. One of them being what we call a gatekeeper guide, which is a guide that literally just sits there, and a very important job because they're kind of wrangling the other side. Because when I open up, every dead person that hears, I'm like this beacon of light that goes, "Oh my God, she's ready," and they all show up. Well, number one, my gatekeeper is going to make sure just the person in front of me, people are showing up. And then because all them want to talk, he's gonna make a waiting room. He's gonna do whatever he needs to on the other side to make sure I'm not getting bombarded, and that I'm hearing each one individually the way I need to.
Okay.
So last summer, and I've had this gatekeeper for what feels like forever. And his name is Chubby. He came with that name. And all of a sudden one day I didn't feel him. And I went, did I lose my abilities? What's going on? I knew he was there, but he didn't feel like he was doing the same job anymore. And I really kind of felt like, because my mediumship was changing, and there's nothing new with that, because as you grow, things change and shift.
Right.
But I kept going, well, where is it? What's going on here? And last September, I was walking with a friend. I meet this friend of mine, this beautiful woman, and she's the best person to be with besides you. I mean, she's you being the angel lady. This lady is literally a devout Catholic, and she's a spiritualist, or she's a spiritualist minister. Like, she's the whole kit and caboodle. Went to school for this stuff. So you bring this together, you're not getting much stronger belief. You know what I mean? You've got some rock solid everything there. And I was with Maria, and we were sitting there. We were walking along Lake Michigan on a beach, and we're actually walking up to the pier. And I was talking to her about this, and I'm like, God, I feel like Chubby is gone, Maria. She's like, and she literally goes, DeEtte, you have an angel as a new guide. And I literally heard Serafina, Seraphim, and I was like this. I didn't know. And she goes, Seraphim, that's it. You need to take that one. Now, granted, she's this very religious person, but an angel's an angel in our world. You know, I mean, it's whatever, And I went, okay, I guess I have an angel, and the name is Seraphim, and we'll just whatever. And then later on that day, I went, let's Google, because Google knows everything. And I Googled Seraphim, and here it is. I guess apparently angels got different classifications and different levels. And I was like, well, this is a world. And here I got this angel that's part of this top group. And I literally went, well, I'm not going to ask for an individual name. They gave me Seraphim. We're going to be sitting with that for a while, and she's, I like to say she's she. I don't know if she is or not, but it's kind of like, I think it's a name. I hear Seraphim, it just feels very feminine to me. And I know I'm hearing she doesn't have a denomination. I'm like, well, you do now. Anyway, because we're going to fight. Anyway, so we've been just working together in a lot. And she likes to place things in front of me to learn and grow, which I really like, because she's taken on this role, but she's taken on other roles. She's brought different books to me. She's brought different people to me to learn from. And it's scary. It's scary because she's like, okay, I'm up here. You need to come up here. So she's doing a lot to yank my tush up there. So we will love each other one day, very much so. But right now we're on a DeEtte stubborn, that's where we're sitting at. DeEtte stubborn. And she knows it. She took on the case. She picked a short straw.
And that's probably why you got a Seraphim, because your stubbornness, it's like, man, we need the ones that are sitting up there on the top realm to just be pushing her, because otherwise she's just going to go on her merry way and kind of ignore us.
Pretty much.
So way to go for the big guns.
Yeah, well, that's not because I was rewarded. I think they picked the ones that went, we need the one that can, deal with the tough cookie down there. I don't think it was a reward. I mean, in the end, it'll be a blessing, but I don't think they got rewarded. They're definitely
Well, I think one thing that people don't realize, and especially if they grew up very entrenched in any of the major religions, let's just put it that way, is that, first of all, angels with wings and halos don't exist. I mean, that's not what they look like. They're actually kind of creepy, scary looking if you read the descriptions and see artist depictions of them. I actually pray to God that I never see one in person, what they actually look like, because I'll probably run screaming in the other direction.
See,
But then the other,
I'm like, come on, scare the bejesus out of me. Let's get this over with. Let's start talking.
All right, so I'm going to do it with you, and you're going to be my bodyguard on this.
Okay, let's do it.
But then the other piece is so many people go, well, I don't believe in any of that hoo-ha. You don't have to believe in it, because the bottom line is angels believe in you, and that's all that matters. And so they're going to be coming through like we've already talked about, any of the Claires,
Yep.
because their job, they've got one career mission, if you will.
Yep.
And that is to bring us messages and to carry
Mhm.
messages, back and everything. And so they're not about a political agenda. They're not about a religious agenda. Nothing. They
Nope.
believe in you and they want you to be the best person possible. And they're just going to, carry these messages. And
Mhm.
so, open up, peeps.
Yep. Well,
That's
even
why
if you
you're,
don't open up, they're still gonna get in there, so,
they
this
will.
isn't a choice. This is and I won't say this isn't a choice because we always have that free will, but you made this choice before you were born. This isn't
Yep.
like a conscious choice while you've been living and breathing. This is before you were born. You made this choice to say, "Come into my life, come do this, work with me." Even the seraphim, as much as I would like to say, "Oh my gosh, I got her because I was stubborn," I contracted for this. Me and the seraphim had to have talked prior to say, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to come in at this point, and hopefully you hit it at this age." So,
Right. And you
yeah.
just transitioned us to another great thing
Mhm.
about with our souls and contracts.
Yeah.
Um, this is something that's newer to me
Oh, okay.
that I've discovered. So talk more about that. And what does that mean? And how does it look? And how did it happen? And
Okay.
all of that.
So, from what my understanding, what they have showed me, and what I've also learned from my own mentors,
Mhm.
is before we're even, so many of us, I always love to say, so many of us like to say, "Oh my God, this is my last lifetime. I'm never coming here again. Oh, I hate this place, blah, blah, blah." But we pass away, our soul goes back to the community, to the afterlife, to heaven, whatever you want to call it. And it goes, "Oh my God, that was the best experience ever. I love this place. I love peopling. I love adulting. I love life. I love to experience." And people don't realize that a soul only knows love. It knows eternal, forever love, unconditional. It's beautiful. And it wants to experience, it wants to learn, it wants to grow. For a soul to kind of like up level itself, kind of go a little bit higher, it's got to get into a body on a planet. And like I said, on a planet doesn't mean Earth, but on a planet. It's got to get someplace, another dimension, another planet, another body to be able to literally grow and experience. Okay. So you jump into this body because you want to experience life, but we don't go, "Oh, willy nilly." We really don't. So often the Bible tells us, "Oh my God, you got destiny. We have our destiny, right?" And then they go, "But you have free will." And you go, but the pastor never tells you the difference, do they? I mean, they literally leave you in limbo because you're going, "Well, which one is it?" Mm, and I honestly, it's because I don't think they don't have this belief system that they need to get the rest of the information. I shouldn't go there, but I feel like, you know what, they're only going on this. So when you look at your soul on the other side, and I'm going to say, you want to learn about love. Okay. I mean, because it really sounds contradiction because you're going, "Well, the soul knows all about love." It knows all about unconditional love. Okay. It doesn't know
Right.
about the variety of love. So essentially, you're going to say, "I want to come back to earth. I want to come back. I want to learn about love." Okay. You're going to make an appointment with one of your guides, and it's called an elder guide. Okay. Now, this elder guide's on the other side. It's been here a million times. It's learned all of its lessons. It doesn't need to come back. It's doing good. It's kind of like with the ascended masters, getting close to that kind of group. Not as high up, but kind of getting up there. So you're going to make an appointment with this elder guy, and you're going to go back. And I always say for mine, they're going to look at me and go, "Oh, hell, it's her again. Remember the last time, the Leaning Tower? Remember what you did?" You know what I mean? Type of a thing. But I'm like, "Yeah, here again. Let's do this. Let's see what destruction I can do this time." But I'm going to look at him and say, "Hey, I want to go back. I want to learn about love this time." And I always say they put a war map out. Like they put
Mhm.
a map out, right? This is essentially your soul contract. Your name's going to go at the top. And this, I'm saying this in a way for us to understand it, okay? It's a little bit more, etherical type of thing, but say your name's at the top, what you want to do, your purpose, not your purpose, but what your destiny is, love. I want to learn about love. That's what I want to experience. So they're going to look at you. Okay, when did you want to be born to, and who do you want to be born to? Two very key points. This is looking at astrology. What
Right.
time, what day, what everything, what moment is the best for you to be born? So you're going to pick that moment that's best for you to be born. You're also going to pick the parents that are best to be born to. Now, even when you say, oh my God, I had that deadbeat dad, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you wanted his DNA. There's something about that DNA. There's something about him disappearing that you needed for your life. Okay. So a lot of people like to say all this happened, blah, blah. No, your soul knew it was going to happen. Your soul knew all this. So say you pick, and I always use the same story. So it's kind of easy, but say, okay, I want to be born on this day because it's the best day for me to learn all about love. And I'm going to pick these parents that are really kind of hippie like, that are all about free love, free spirit, that love to go to the Congo all the time. These are the people that are just these missionary people that can't get enough of free love, So I'm going to be born to this set of people, right? And they're in their late 20s. They got it going on. I show up. I'm born in America. I pick the city, I pick the time, I pick everything. I get all this great love for like 2 years because I got mommy and daddy just loving the hell out of me, right? Very beautiful love. Well, when I hit 2, boom, and my birth is going to happen, who I'm born to is going to happen. That 2 years is going to be whatever. But on my second birthday, I've got it. So I'm going back to some other jungle. And that's going to happen. Why? Because I want to go back because I want to learn about giving love. I want to learn about a different premise of love. I want to watch my parents giving love to somebody else. That's all going to happen. Okay. Say when I hit 5, I've contracted to get a baby sister. So mom's going to get pregnant. Okay. Mom's no fool. She can't come back to the States, have that baby in the hospital. So we all come back when I'm 5. Baby's born. God, I don't like that baby. Ugh, I got to share my love with that. The birth is going to happen. The baby's going to happen, but I'm going to learn a different thing about love. Okay. So a few years go by. In the few years, it's all about that free will. Mom and dad can't get enough of the jungle. So off we go again. And again, I've contracted to go back. And while we're back doing our thing, now I can participate more because I'm older. Dad gets malaria and dies. That's a different form of love, isn't it? It's a
Right.
lot of love, so you can see how this goes, all these different things are happening. And really, when you look at it, when you finally get to see your soul contract, it's because when you look at the lessons, it was like, oh my gosh, you can look at marriages, divorce, deaths, extra spouses, extramarital relationships, homelessness because you find yourself at a food shelter that starts giving back to you and you learn about receiving love, all of these different things that are definitely going to happen in your life. But it really gets around the whole maybe subject of love. Maybe your subject is, I want to learn about anger. Maybe I want to learn about, whatever it is. It's not going to, you don't go with this premise that you're not going to do a dissertation on what I want to learn here. It's very simple. But how we formulate our life, how our plan is all designed for us to get the most out of this. And we're here to live. We're here to experience. We're not here to have loss. We're not here to be starving. We're not here to not be abundant. We're here to have all of that, but our life is also around all about the experiences and living. So that's what's in your contract.
Right. And you now just very clearly explained why your angel is seraphim,
Okay.
because I understood most of the basics of what you just said. I
Uh-huh.
didn't understand a few of the pieces in between.
Okay.
But what I have learned is that the soul keeps coming back
Mm-hmm.
under the contract
Yeah.
until you finally get to that highest realm,
Yeah.
which is the seraphim
Okay.
realm.
Okay.
And then at that point, you don't come back anymore because you have awakened
Mm-hmm.
completely, and souls never die because
Nope.
they're energy. Energy doesn't die. And
Right.
so that's when you move on and you become the elder for someone else.
I'll take it. Yes.
Right.
I'm gonna go from God's mouth, which is you, to my ears. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, every this is everything, us, the universe, it's
Mm,
all a work in progress.
it is.
And we don't know the beginning, we don't know the end. And so we just keep rolling, is the way I look at it.
Mhm,
And,
mhm,
you know, in the last year, I experienced a lot of personal grief from
mhm.
losing loved ones and everything. And it it just keeps filling in, you know, the gaps and keeps lifting me higher to understand more and more. And like, you know, you and I had talked briefly before we came on air, and I said, well, yeah, out with 2023 because it wasn't the greatest, and in with 2024 because it's going to be a great year. And you came right back and said, no, not out with 2023 because we learned and we grew so much from
Yeah,
even all the crap that happened.
exactly.
And that's how it is.
It is. And you see it at the end of every year. Every time it gets that into, after Christmas, everybody's like, God, I can't get rid of this year. It was enough. You're going to live the same shit. Excuse the language, but it's just going to be a different pile of it. It's going to be I mean, just because 2024 comes, it doesn't mean it's going to come with sparkle glitters and unicorn farts. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen that way. Are we going to have a great year? Probably. Are we going to have a bad year? Definitely. But really, at the end of the year, it's like more like looking at where was my growth? How do I want to see this? If you want to look at this last year of, oh my God, it was crap, then you're really not getting much growth. You know what I mean? You're just going, oh,
Right.
this sucked. I want to forget about it. I want to like, oh, do you really want to redo it? I don't want to redo it. I want to look at this and go, okay, what did I experience? What was my growth? Oh my gosh, that was awesome. And it turns all that stuff that you go, this really wasn't fun, into the growth you had, the experience you had, just the love that you were able to take into your heart and your soul. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of time people, and I know a lot of people lost a lot of people, especially over the last 3 years. We've lost a lot of loved ones, but
Mhm.
they haven't left us. They haven't gone anywhere. They've
No.
transitioned, and they're
Right.
still talking to us. They're still there having their communication. We're the ignorant ones not listening. They're going, hey, hey. I kind of show it like when you come, anybody that's coming to a stream yard, you know what I mean? This is Jodi's
Right.
link. Jodi's there live. I'm in the background. I have to wait for Jodi to hit a button to bring me on. But I'm sitting here going, I'm here, and I usually get animated if they don't notice me. But that's how they're on the other side. They die and they start going, I'm still here. I'm still okay. Listen
Right.
to me, listen to me. Let's talk. I have a dear
Right.
friend that started out to be one of my mentor students. I mean, amazing gentleman by the name of Tim Bear. And literally, I started working with him 2 years ago because his wife had passed away. We were working with his abilities. In my head, I'm like, we're not working with abilities. We're working with him to get to the next point, blah, blah, blah. And through the process, he wrote a book on healing because it was my assignment, write a book. And his book is now a bestseller. And it's all about the continuing journey after transition, not death, but transition, and how our
Yes.
loved ones are still there and they're still communicating. We just have to open up and listen to them.
Right.
So that's a
And I
whole
just
lot getting rid of 2023, but there you go.
right. Yeah. And that's just it. You take all of the crap that happened to you and you find
Mhm.
the lessons learned and
Yeah.
where you grew stronger. And then you take them into the crap in the next year and go, hey, I got through that before. I can get through this because
Yeah,
I got through that. And
exactly.
that's what I tell all my people about trauma.
Yeah.
Yes, you experienced trauma. You are now a survivor. You survived it. You're not a
Mhm.
victim
Right.
because you survived and you are going to go forward and you are going to take that experience and you are overcoming it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a journey, it's a work in progress. And DeEtte, I could talk to you all day. I heard your grandson in the background a
Mom's
second.
home now. We're good. She was home within 2 minutes of us starting, which was amazing. I'm surprised because normally he's hit that 4-year-old, and now every time he sees me on the screen, he wants to come and say hi to everybody. So surprised he hasn't
Right.
showed up.
Yes. Yes. But we have to save something for next time and the next time and the next time.
Sure.
So I'm just going to simply say thank you for sharing you with me and for all of our listeners and viewers.
Always. I love this. Thank you so much for having me on. I love educating. So thank you.
All right. Until next time, DeEtte, you take care.
You too. Bye-bye, Miss Jodi.
Thanks again for joining Chaplain Jodi on Survivor Angels. For more information, go to chaplainjodi.me. That's chaplainjodi.me. And on Facebook at Survivor Angels-Chaplain Jodi. Sound effects for the show created by Andre Opate and provided by Pixpay. This is Dave Schrader. Until next time, sending you off to activate your angels.